most amount of residual heat that you can get into the tyre and the very last lap of this sequence, because it is not going to dry up sufficiently. Go, Larko.
Yeah, Jamie Whincup very much playing that game. Now you can look, he's well down the order. He's just come in here and they did nothing to the car except let a bucket load of pressure out of the tyres. So he's looking to put more of a footprint down onto the road, but they did leave those same very warm tyres on, looking to generate the heat they can.
That's unusual. Wets normally go the other way. You reckon they took it out?
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
So that is really wild, isn't it? Because when you're down in 23rd, I would have put another set of tyres on, because you have to think about when you've got a fresh green tyre, although it's got the mould release on it and it's very, very slippery, the edge of the blocks is sharp and it's very efficient in terms of squeegeeing the water out. So there's always a constant debate over whether a roaded tyre is better for certain conditions or a brand new tyre is. So for me, what's happened with Rick Kelly, he come in, put another set of tyres on, they would have pumped those tyres up, and even as quick as you can, you take as much camber off as possible.
And it looks like they may have done that with that car. Just thinking about it, maybe those tyres of Jamie's had overpressured if he was out there for an extended period on them. If they started them really high, which they probably did, they can also go too far over centre, so that's a possibility. So Courtney's in the lane, every other car's out there at the moment, and we've still not seen anything from car 6. Remember that McLaughlin had trouble with that crank trigger sensor in New Zealand day one of practice as well. What a disaster for Cam Waters if that's where he stays, with 9 minutes remaining now in the session.
Boston's very good in these conditions, so I would expect him to improve now that he's back out there. How's that beautiful slide? Great car control from Scott Pye, and he's modulating the brake to try to contain the speed and keep himself off that Cooper's sign.
It's funny how your perspective changes, Mark, because you're describing what you see on screen as a beautiful slide. That's not what's in Scott Pye's thoughts at the moment.
Hey guys, just quickly, we'll have a look at this wet tyre that just came off James Courtney's car. He put brand new green wets on the back and they were roded on the front, very lightly roded. But these are these edges you guys have been talking about. And even though they look quite square, we can see how they're all rounded off. On a new tyre, they are perfectly square and sharp. And straight away, I don't know how many laps these have been on the car for, you can just see they've just lost those edges ever so slightly. We'll see how that new set for James Courtney's working. These have actually got a decent amount of temperature in them, so hopefully he can get some temp in that new set before the end of the session.
Thanks, Murph. That's exactly what we needed to show, because that little roded tyre there sometimes has a nice effect, but normally when it's a little bit drier than it is now. So you want the squeegee effect of the very sharp blocks on those wets. Now at the moment, both of the Gary Rogers Motorsport cars are in the 10. So those cars in the rain are working really well. Golding 6th, Stenaway is 10th, and now he's come up to 8th. So Golding 6th, Stenaway 8th.
So now, inside 7.5 minutes, Friday qualifying Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 for the 59th running of the great race. Wet weather that is not going to dry off sufficiently within this session for everybody to get back on a Dunlop slick tyre. Rick Kelly's just come up into 11th position. And now what's going to happen is people are just going to pound around to try and find an alternative line, keep as much warmth in the tyres as they can, and do everything that they've innately learnt over a long period of time in karting all the way through to the professional level. And as Mark pointed out, there's some heavyweight names that are buried down the order at the moment.
I'll have my money on Rick Kelly improving markedly. That was his second lap. He came up to 11th. That car's going to continue to get better and better and better with only 6.5 minutes remaining. Tyre condition for him will improve. Scott Pye comes up to 4th.
Alex Rossi is 23rd, one position ahead of Jamie Whincup at the moment. Now, we're looking here at car number 22, James Courtney. He's just commencing his lap. So there's only going to be a couple of laps. There's that shine on the road that I described. It frightens me even in the commentary box.
Settled. Nice job.
So you can see the wheel spin light on the dash in second gear as he tried to apply the throttle. You saw the light blinking, and it's still wheel spinning in higher gears all the way up the hill.
Listen to this. Normally they will spin badly there, so that's pretty good because those rear tyres that Murph told us about, they might be working well there.
Normally third gear at turn 2, back to second. There's the wheel spin lights again, so that's all wheel spin. And it hits the limiter. That'll be hard yards, trying to sneak it out of there in first. He short shifted it, brought it up to second early. It tries to throw him into the concrete. This is a tonne and a half trying to escape from you at 130 kilometres an hour. That's the old 100 mile an hour in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen at 160 kilometres an hour. Looking for the wheel tracks here, staying off the painted white line and being very mindful of that painted red and white curve to the right. And in the blind approach, it's hard enough on the best of days to see there, let alone when there's any mist. It has a little lock-up and shifts the nose to the right in the braking area at the S's. He leans on those Dunlop wet tyres through the dipper and coaxes the car down the other side of the hill. Now, Will Davison's on a very good lap here as well. We've got 4 3/4 minutes remaining in this session. It's McLaughlin, Mostert and Davison. Rick Kelly, to Mark Scaife's point, up now 3 spots, and he's gone into 9th. And car number 56 has lost the last lap for exceeding track limits.
So McLaughlin, Mostert, Davison, Pye, Slade, Percat, Van Gisbergen, Coulthard, Kelly, Golding, Stanaway. Stanaway and Golding now are right on the cusp. That's Van Gisbergen, and that's a big mistake because he loses that complete lap now.
And he's only got 4 1/4 minutes remaining as we ride now with Will Davison. By my count, that's the 3rd time that we've seen Van Gisbergen in strife in this session. He's 7th and vulnerable in that position if anyone is able to apply some pace now. Top gear for Will Davison. They've got car number 6 out in the nick of time. This is very important for Cam Waters. He's already achieved a lap time of 2:33, but he's a long, long way from getting in the top 10, down in 24th at the moment. Courtney's come up 1 spot into 12th position. Davison's great lap continues, so he's 4th at the moment. May threaten McLaughlin if he stays all gripped up. Slade moves up. Waters has come up into the top 10. What a save from nowhere.
And he's almost put Van Gisbergen out. Here comes Davison. What's it do for Davison? It goes up to 3rd. Well done. So Cam Waters is able to grab 7th spot right now.
And Whincup has got himself out of a terrible situation. He's currently in 11th, but it's still not enough to get him into the top 10 shootout. So this car lost its last lap for exceeding the track limits, car number 56, one of the 2 wild cards this weekend. And it's Brodie Kostecki at the wheel at the moment. So it's McLaughlin over Mostert. Davison up that 1 spot.
Good job.
Then Pye, Slade, Percat, Waters, Van Gisbergen, Coulthard and Rick Kelly 10. And Brodie's just gone up into 16th position. Heimgartner's come up now 9 spots. Brodie goes wide at turn 1. Macaulay Jones has come up 7 spots into 13th. So Whincup 11th, Golding 12th, Macaulay 13th, Stanaway 14th, Courtney 15th. These are the people that might creep in. Winterbottom and Reynolds 22nd and 23rd at the moment. They've got a huge amount of work to do together with Lee Holdsworth.
Van Gisbergen now is 10th because Stanaway's come up to 6th. So Shane's right on the cusp.
And remember, he's got to start a whole new lap sequence because he went off at turn 1. Rick Kelly in the background, he's 12th at the moment, and he moves up into 4th position with the Nissan. So the Silver Bullet now currently up into 4th spot. And the next car in the queue, here is Holdsworth. He's way down the order in 21st and pulls a lap to improve to 16th, but it's not enough. Inside 2 minutes. Nick Percat on screen, he's 8th at the moment. Reynolds, who's been the fastest man for the last 3 years in a row in the race on Sunday, is 23rd, moves to 15th.
What we'll be looking for with 1:40 remaining is the last car to get the checkered flag. So you want to be on the run now and time this. So McLaughlin goes fastest again with a 2:27, Mostert with a 2:28.
And that is all but guaranteed him a spot in the top 10 shootout because he's got a 1.1 second margin, McLaughlin. Everybody else is scratching and hanging on by their fingernails. Van Gisbergen's just moved up into 5th position. And there's a lot of cars. Scotty's gone off at turn 1, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's just on 1 minute remaining. Mostert's looking very speedy out there at the moment. Slade has come up into position number 3. He's fighting for his driving survival at the moment, and this helps the cause. And also helping that cause, Whincup up into 9th. Car Triple Eight's now in the top 10 shootout, but on the cusp in that position.
You'll be the last one, mate. Keep pushing. You're doing a great job.
This is fantastic stuff because there's only 45 seconds remaining. We're looking for the last cars. If you come by the checkered flag with 8 or 10 seconds to go, you will be the beneficiary. Track position will be key right now.
30 seconds remain. Mark Winterbottom on screen. The Irwin Racing entry is down in 23rd position. Former winner, former champion. And he moves up into the top 10 with a big lap when it counted most. Mark Winterbottom is now 8th. Heimgartner's moved up to 12th. It's like watching a stock market churn. The tumble and the churn is amazing. There are cars moving everywhere. So Mostert's great lap continues. Mozzie is going to threaten McLaughlin here, Mark. Scotty's done a 27. Mostert's in the background. Stanaway just moved up 4 spots into 6th. It's all going on.
Van Gisbergen back to 7th. That's put Whincup out. Fabian Coulthard up now into 9th. Whincup is now 12th. T. Silvestro comes up 11 spots to 12th, but that's not good enough. Rick Kelly wasn't able to improve on that lap.
And Mostert actually improved his time and he closed the margin to McLaughlin, but it wasn't enough to tip him off the top spot. And Deepa Squiley squeaks in at the checkered flag into 5th and then immediately displaced by Nick Percat. So Percat jumps up into 5th, Deepa Squiley into 6th. There's still a stream of cars coming, of which one of them is this man, Van Gisbergen. He's in the braking area at the chase. Pye's out there, Slade's out there, McLaughlin's out there, Whincup's out there, Waters is out there. They're still to complete their laps.
There's a lot of cars that are going to come across the strike. It's going to change this top 10 order because this lap is ultra critical. One of the most important laps in his life. He comes up to 3rd, Van Gisbergen. Well done.
Todd Hazelwood, Mark, has just done the fastest first sector of anybody out there. Slade sitting in 4th. He's done. He's greeted the checkered flag. Whincup. He's 16th. Make that 7th. So he was in, out, and back in at the last moment. Waters comes up 11 positions. Davison moves up 1, displaces Slade. Davo's now in 4th position. Keeping up?
I'm struggling. I am struggling, but this is just magnificent stuff.
Now, Hazelwood was blindingly quick in the first sector, but he's given away a pile of time over the top of the hill. And whether that moves him up is an open question. At the moment, McLaughlin's cut back into the lane. He's on the provisional pole. The Armor provisional pole sets him up beautifully for the top 10 shootout. Mostert, Van Gisbergen, Davison, Slade, Percat, Whincup, Waters, Deepa Squiley, and Kelly Winterbottom up to 9th. Rick Kelly out, Deepa Squiley 10th. And Rick Kelly was just told on the radio, so you can imagine the reaction there. Hazelwood up 1 spot into 15th.
What's Golding got? Can he get himself in? Not quite, no. What a remarkable session.
Great driving by everybody out there. And a tremendous performance by McLaughlin in frightening conditions. He's with Dick Johnson and Roger Penske in the background, and he's come home by 0.4 of a second. And that's a great result for Tim Slade and everybody at Freightliner Racing. A glimpse there of Ash Walsh, the co-driver in that car this weekend. That's Kathy Penske in the background behind Scott McLaughlin. But that was a tremendous session. It didn't have the fireworks speed that we were hoping for, but there was intrigue.